Hi guys, and thanks for tuning into the Tea Bites with Miss K. So today I wanted to focus on something that I noticed this week has really kept coming up. This prominent theme kept presenting itself regarding the strong black woman. And so it's something that's really important to me, and it's something that I hear so much about. And a lot of times it gets like this negative feeling surrounded around it. And there's nothing wrong with being a strong person. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being black. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with being a woman. But when you put all those things together, there's like this expectation that's set for that and how things should be and how you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to present yourself. And I think that it gets like a really bad rap. And I think that also as women, as these women of color, we feel like we have to like really uphold to this particular persona of the strong black woman. So I wanted to kind of give some tips, and I have more than my usual 5, but don't worry because I'll type them up once I add the video. I'll type them up in bullet points and I'll list them, or then I might even put them in an additional post so you'll be able to see them. But these things are extremely important that I think can help us as women who have been upheld to the strong black woman persona. So I just want to start by just diving right into it. So let's just do that. And of course, I have my board over here, and I'm going to, look back and forth between my board and the camera so I can make sure that I'm giving you the most effective information as possible, to be as detailed as possible. And if you have any additional questions, as usual, please make sure that you send me an email, you text me, you call me, or I thank you so much because I've actually been getting a lot of good feedback, compliments, people stopping me in the street, or people when I'm maybe in certain environments, they stop me, and that's what they associate me with now, is either my workbook or they associate me with my Tea Bite. So it's getting out there, guys, and I just appreciate you for sharing the videos and helping me do more of what it is that I'm trying to do, and that's my part, leave my footprint in helping improve our communities of color. So thank you so much. So let's just dive right in, okay? So it's okay to cry. Crying can be seen as something that means you're weak. No, crying is a release of emotions that you just cannot verbally express, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're any less of a woman. It doesn't mean that you can't handle something. It means that you are human. And as long as you have breath in your body, as long as you are who God created you to be, you are a human being. You're not, a species of animal just, walking itself around this earth and, going around a circle of light. You are a human being who has real feelings and real emotions that need to be addressed. And sometimes the words just aren't there because there's so much hurt and there's so much pain. Maybe even surprised or disgust at what's going on. So give yourself permission to cry. It's okay to cry about it. And I understand that maybe you need to cry by yourself. And I've always been given some amazing advice by my grandmother. And something that she told me the second I became a mom is that you're going to spend time in that shower that you need to take advantage of. And when you do, you need to spend that time crying, because you can't always cry in front of your kids. You can't always cry in front of your spouse. You can't always cry in front of company or your coworkers. So what you need to do is take advantage of those times where you are alone, you're isolated, even if it's just 5 minutes in the car alone. Maybe get somewhere a little bit earlier, pull over, park your car somewhere else, but make sure that you're safe, and just get those tears out, because you need to. If you don't get them out, they'll just stay bottled up and they'll have a lot of tension built up inside of you. And for anyone who tells you that it's not okay to cry, be very cautious, and just keep in mind that this may be someone who you cannot express your feelings or your emotions to when that time comes. And don't believe that, because it is okay to cry. You don't have to do it all. Yes, there's, people believe that it's great to be this superwoman and an octopus with all these different arms and legs and can handle this and can handle that. But you don't have to do everything just because you can, just because you're capable. If you don't do some of those things, it doesn't make you any less of a woman. So just keep in mind, you don't have to do all of these things in order to be seen as the strong woman. You're still strong if you do 5 things or if you do 10 things. You're not in competition with anyone. So keep that in mind. It's okay to not do everything. Next, I'm going to move on to be gentle with yourself. And that's something that we definitely have to be mindful of. We have to put on this like tough outer core a lot of times because of the things that we had to deal with, or we want people to know, like, you can't mess with me, you can't run over on me. So therefore you put on this tough outer exterior, and that tough outer exterior that you're putting on sometimes can never give you that opportunity, because you're like, maybe you're in robotic mode of doing this and checking off the list of things that have to be done, and then you have to go behind people to make sure that they're doing their responsibility that you handed off to them. So if you are not gentle with yourself and giving yourself permission to do certain things like cry or be emotional or say, you know what, that hurt me today, that made me feel some type of way other than comfortable, be gentle enough with yourself to be able to say that. Moving along, you need people who care about your well-being. If all you have is a lot of people who are constantly coming around you and giving you demands and giving you extra added responsibilities, those people are what I like to consider liabilities. You don't need any additional liabilities in your life, because I'm sure you have more than enough responsibilities and things to do, and you can't get rid of your kids, and your kids are, I'm sure, probably, if they're typical kids, you give them chores and responsibilities to do and they don't necessarily always follow through. You got to go back and check with them. Then you have your partner, your spouse, what have you, who may not necessarily be doing everything it is that you need them to do. And then sometimes you fall back on the things that you need to do. So you need people who you invite into your life, who can support you in the things it is that you need to do, who will allow you to have that space to cry, to remember that it's okay to be gentle with yourself, to not give you extra added responsibilities. Moving along, we had to start telling people no. It's okay to say no and not hold that guilt of telling that person no. Because the second I tell you no, that allows me to free myself up. Even if I can find the time in my schedule to do it, I'm okay with telling you no, and I'm going to have to be okay with that, because maybe I just needed that extra 2 hours for myself to relax, to sit still, to not do anything. It's okay to schedule in your schedule to have time to do nothing. You need that in order to be able to function for the rest of the week, or to be able to focus on what's important. And I'm sure your family is a top priority. You have to have the time and the energy to be able to do that. If you're not right, everything else is not going to be right. Moving along, then cry some more. There's nothing wrong with crying, and sometimes those tears can be tears of joy. The more we express ourselves, the easier it becomes to not hold things inside, and the more we become willing to advocate for ourselves when things aren't right, when things aren't feeling just the way that maybe necessarily they should be, or we're sitting here watching something that we know is not right. We might not necessarily fall back and get comfortable with not saying something because, well, I don't say anything either. I can help another young lady, another woman coming up behind me who's maybe experiencing some difficulty in her life, if I'm in a position where I can advocate for myself and say something is not right. I have to be in touch with my emotions and what's going on with me. Moving along. So we also have, don't choose a partner who's a liability. If you invite someone into your life to be your partner, to decide that you want to, pursue a relationship with this person, you don't want this person to come into your life with all these extra added responsibilities that they expect you to come in and save. Just because you have your life together doesn't mean that once they come into your life that you're going to continue to have your life together. If this person comes in and then your piece is now gone and everything that you used to be able to handle is now becoming a stressor, that's a clear sign that that person is not helping you, but that person is, again, a liability and must be removed. It doesn't matter how much you care about that person, because obviously that person is not caring enough about you. Now, granted, you can definitely say something to this person at first to give them the opportunity to get it together, but because you have to be gentle with yourself. Remember, I'm constantly reminding you to be gentle with yourself, and being gentle with yourself is being in touch with your emotions and being aware of what is going on within inside of you, noticing where your peace ends and where your peace begins. And if you notice that every time this person comes around, you're getting sick, you're getting a headache, you're getting nauseous, you're getting migraines, something's not right with you, that's a clear tell sign that something is not right. Moving along, because I can spend all day on that particular subject. Do not surround yourself with people who know how to only complain. If every time I talk to you, if every time I call you, every time I hang around you, every time I see you, all you do is complain about something. You're complaining about the sun shining too much. You're complaining about your bills. You're complaining about your kids. You're complaining about so many things. You're complaining about not being able to do this and not being able to do that. If that's all you do, then you're not someone who I can spend a lot of time around, because you're not helping support me. Because then I have to be strong for you, when I might have came to you as my friend to be able to say, you know what, I'm having a rough time today. I can't come to you with my problems if you're always complaining. And people who always complain are probably always negative and carry like this dark cloud around them, like this dark energy, this negative energy around them. So instead of this being a break for me to hang out and spend time with my friends, what I'm happening is that I'm getting worn out. I feel worse than what I did when I came. And now I still don't have anybody to complain of, nobody to talk to. But then I sit here and I listen to you complain, and now that's become extra concern for me, because now I'm trying to figure out how can I help you. Another liability. So if this person who you're spending a lot of time with, or you have friends or you have family members who all they do is complain and they're frequently negative, you need to spend as less time with them as possible and cut back your communication with them, because it's not helping you, and it's just consistently not providing you with that opportunity to be gentle with yourself, because you're constantly making yourself available to the needs of others. You do not have to do that. You need a break somewhere, and it shouldn't take for you to spend thousands of dollars to go on vacation in order to get a break from people. You should be able to have a staycation and still get away from people. Moving along, I have cry some more. Cry some more, because it's okay. It is okay to cry. I cannot say it enough. And if I don't add it in here one more time, I'm going to be upset with myself. But it is okay to cry. Moving along, I had take your load to God. If you do not have something that you believe in greater than yourself, all you will focus on is the troubles of the world and all the weight that you have to bear and carry alone. You don't have to do that. You need something to replenish you. If you're constantly giving out and giving out and giving out, what's going to happen is you're going to be completely depleted. You're not going to have anything left within yourself to give to anybody. So you need something stronger than yourself outside of this world that's going to help you. Now, keep in mind, if you're also doing all these other things, being gentle with yourself, surrounding yourself with the right people, and then you have God that you're going to, and you're adding that little you will find yourself being replenished, because relationships are give and take. Relationships are not give of yourself and get nothing in return. That's a one-sided relationship. Relationships should be reciprocal. Moving along, we have my final one, which is actually get support from those who do not frequently need validation. You shouldn't be working 24/7 emotionally. You shouldn't be working 24/7 physically. You need to give yourself a break. If you're around people who constantly need to be validated about how beautiful they are, how handsome they are, or if their outfit is good enough, or if they're good enough, that's just going to wear you out. And you can't possibly spend that time getting that breather and being gentle with yourself if you're constantly validating other people. Who is going to help you? Who is going to replenish you? And just a summary of everything it is that I'm saying is that you need to be gentle with yourself. You need to cry more. You need to trust God. You need to release all it is that you have in yourself out there. You can't keep it bottled up inside of your own body, because what's going to happen is that extra stress, emotional stress, physical stress, mental stress, all those things, it's going to weigh on you physically. And before you know it, you're going to have a breakdown. And you can have a breakdown. Now, next thing you know, you might be 1 to 2 weeks out of work. Now you might be behind in bills. You need that additional support, but who can you depend on to do these things? So you got to be gentle with yourself. And if you do these things and you get in a frequent practice of them, before you know it, you'll be doing it without even trying hard. So right now, if you have to make time in your schedule to relax, even if you have to complain about something, I don't really like using that word complain, because I associate it with so many things that are negative. But if you need to spend some time venting about some things that are making you upset, give yourself a time limit and say, you know what, I'm not going to spend any more than 15-20 minutes right now. I just need to get this off my chest, and I need to scream about it. I need to yell about it. I don't want anybody else to help me figure out my problem. I just want to get it out, because I know I'm going to figure it out. And don't waste a lot of time talking to people who can't help you, because other than that, it just becomes gossip and it's really not helping you. It's just like, well, I told you, now everybody around you is going to talk about it, and then they're going to bring it back to me. Then, of course, things are going to get misconstrued and people are going to add extra information. So I really just want to help anybody it is that I can who feels like they have to uphold their reputation as the strong Black woman, where you really don't have to. You have every right to be gentle. You have every right to be respected and to feel like loved, like you're loved. And if you don't love yourself the way that you need to love yourself, then you can't model that behavior for anybody else who comes into your life for you to say, hey, this is how you need to love this woman. Guys, I hope that you really take heed to this information. Again, I will make sure I type it up for you and I'll post that up, and I really hope that you guys can share this with other women that you know who may be experiencing these things, because it is something that's out there. It's kind of unspoken, but we know just as women of color in our Black community, and nobody will understand it as much as us, is how hard it is and all this pressure that you have to be this strong Black woman. And you are kind of raised that way with this expectation to be this strong Black woman. You either kind of raised as that, or you might be raised as this young woman who's expected to just kind of, be kept by a man. And then we have society out here who's telling us, it's good to be this independent woman and to be this and to be that. Well, guess what? It's getting a lot of people single, divorced, alone, miserable, bitter. We don't want that. And then you don't want that strong Black woman to turn into that angry Black woman. So let's figure this thing out, guys. Take care. I appreciate you so much. And please share this video. And don't forget to join my Define You community at martrisekennedy.com. Take care, guys. Have an amazing weekend. Bye.